What's going on, guys? It's Brandon back here again, and I tried to film this video this morning twice. However, my camera just said no. So here we are after school now on Game 11 versus the LA Kings for the BFR. It was Hockey Fights Cancer Night, and it happened at 7:30 p.m. on November 3rd, and the Hawks win 2-1 in overtime in a game they had no business of winning. They go to 5-4-2, excuse me. They get outshot 33-19 by LA. Hits were 25-21 Chicago. Face-offs were 32-21 LA. On the power play, Chicago goes 0 for 1. LA goes 0 for 2. Dylan Wells, who is a Hawks minor league goaltender, was signed to a one-year $750K deal and played backup because both goalies, Mrazek and LAK, are injured. It was the first win for Arvid Soderblom in his NHL career. I think he's played 3, 4, 5 games. Soderblom 32 out of 33. He's the only reason we won tonight. Quick save 17 out of 19. And there wasn't that much actually happened in the first period, to be honest. Go to the first. Velarde was denied. Not many whistles. Pretty back and forth. Shots were 5-0 9 minutes in for LA. Kurashev nearly puts it in. Athanasiou dangles and then is saved. Then Brendan Lemieux boards Reese Johnson, and that brings the game to a whole nother level. So at 6:56, there's a fight between Jujhar Khaira and Brendan Lemieux. They both get 5 for fighting, and then Khaira gets the extra 2 minutes, which would be served by Max Domi for the instigator for unsportsmanlike conduct, which would be killed, and the Hawks pressure late. We go to the second period. Mikey Anderson and McCabe throw swings at each other. Soderblom had a good save. Quick's mask came off after a shot. He would recover. And then at 7:06, it's a Chicago deflection goal from Jason Dickinson, proving once again that Vancouver was wrong to give him away, but he fits right in here. 4th of the season from Caleb Jones and Philip Roos to make it 1-0. There's a scrum. Reese Johnson and Lemieux have words after, and Reese Johnson was boarded by Lemieux earlier. King's pressure. Soderblom's mask then falls off, so both goalies' masks fell off. Arvidsson had a near goal. Radish gets away with a hook. Then at 3:36, it's a Los Angeles 2-0 one-timer goal from Blake Lizotte, his third of the season, from Kaliev, who he was on the 2-0 with, and Walker, who would make it 1-1. Reese Johnson then is slow to get up from a trip. That went uncalled. Kempe was wide. 3:18, Los Angeles penalty to Lemieux for tripping, which would be killed. We go to the third, where Chicago White Sox manager, I'm a big White Sox fan as well, came on to talk on the third, talk about the team, talk about his role, and how he's going to be taking over for the White Sox, as Tony La Russa has stepped down, and the White Sox needed a new manager. And at 14:06 of the third, it's a Chicago penalty to Caleb Jones for high sticking. It was originally 4 minutes. The nose was bleeding of Lizotte. There was a scrum after it as well. But turns out that it wasn't Caleb Jones that high-sticked him. Kaliev, it was officially reviewed. Kaliev lifted Caleb Jones' stick, and it went right up into the face of his own teammate. Who was that? Lizotte. So officials review it. They get the right call. It's no penalty. Then at 9:08, it's a Chicago penalty to Kurashev for actual high-sticking, which would be killed. There'd be another scrum. It was a pretty scrummy game every so often. No shots for either team in a bid, I wrote at this point, and then Doughty takes him and Athanasiou along with the net, flying into the net, and there would be no penalty because there wasn't a penalty issue, but Quick was lucky to get out of the way of it just in time. Radish was then tripped and by Moore, and there was no penalty. Soderblom had a great save on Fiala, which saved the game. And we go to overtime, where in overtime, at 3:29, it's a Chicago one-timer tap-in from Jonathan Toews, who was ready to back-check after he made an abysmal turnover. McCabe recovers it, gets it over a one-timer. Jonathan Toews with his 7th of the season from McCabe and Athanasiou makes it 2-1 for the Hawks. And before that, Moore was stopped. I realized I wrote it down here, but that's fine. So yeah, the Hawks go back over 500 because they just don't want to lose. And news around the league: St. Louis has dropped their 6th in a row. Vancouver and Anaheim had a tilt last night, 8-5. That was an entertaining game. Dallas and Arizona, 7-2 win for Dallas. The Rangers reverse retros are out. So was Arizona's. So was Tampa's. Don't recall if anyone else's were. Buffalo and Pittsburgh had their game a couple days ago with them. I can't recall anyone else currently, but yeah, those were the teams that had the reverse retros. As I'm recording this right now, Columbus and Colorado are having their first game of their global series in Finland. I'm not sure where in Finland. I would assume Helsinki, but I'm not sure. I'm not an expert on Finland. So, yeah, that's going to be all I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I shall see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.